I encountered my first obsessive thought when I was about 10 years old, centered around God and religion. I vividly remember the overwhelming guilt I felt. I was doing my Islamic religion homework when I first experienced obsessive symptoms and intrusive thoughts. As a shy kid, I kept these feelings to myself, hiding my fear and guilt while continuing to attend school. A few days later, the intrusive thoughts recurred. I recall my heart beating fast as I ran to the washroom, shaking and crying, trying to wash away the evidence. During this phase, the intrusive thoughts were not as frequent as they would become later. My teenage years with OCD were tough, around ages 13 to 16. As my responsibilities grew, so did my obsessive urges and intrusive thoughts about sex and scrupulosity. One incident stands out. In the sixth grade, during history class, I had a mental image of writing blasphemous words on my desk. I panicked, repeatedly checking for these words, feeling intense guilt and fear. Later that day, I realized I was uttering gibberish words that lowered my anxiety levels. Classic OCD compulsion. Adulthood with OCD was disastrous. In college, studying electrical and electronics engineering, my stress and obsessions increased. This led to immense pain and academic failure. I feared social interactions, obsessing over writing profane words on desks and sending inappropriate emails. Group projects were a nightmare, and driving triggered fears of running over imaginary bodies. As I began to fail courses, I quit. OCD consumed me, leading to poor hygiene and overeating. I stayed bedridden, wasting my supposedly wonderful years at age 22. OCD took everything from me. One day, my mother forcefully knocked on my door, insisting we see a therapist. I knew I needed therapy but had delayed it due to stigma and misconceptions about mental health medicines. I was diagnosed with OCD by a psychologist and psychiatrist and was prescribed medication, but it had little effect and negative side effects. After several months and different medications, I sought other therapists. I found a well-respected mental health therapist who welcomed me warmly. He treated me like a son and explained everything about OCD. I was prescribed new pills, and gradually, my symptoms became more tolerable and controllable. I regained confidence, resumed daily activities, and focused on my studies. A couple of months went by, and I started to recover. I felt confident driving alone, going to the store, sending emails, and focusing on my studies. I began to understand my OCD triggers and learned to differentiate between intrusive thoughts and normal ones. Life as an advocate. In my suffering with OCD, I found my passion and community. I made it my life goal to help others with OCD. If I can manage OCD, so can you.